All right, you guys, have a seat. They're like, okay, it's Monday. I'm ready to go. All right. What I'd like you to do is, because we're doing so many high to low push-ups, it's great to see everybody again, by the way. I wanted to do some work stretching out your wrists. So, I'm going to have you come up onto your hands and knees. I'm just going to do a little bit of this, but your fingers face away from you, and I want you to lean back slightly. And then I'd like you to take your right hand, fingers face forward, left fingertips facing you. Lean back slightly. And then I want you to switch it up. So there'll always be the one hand will face you and one hand pointing away. Just lean back a little bit. And then just switch. And then once you're here, then just start flipping it around. So still one hand facing, one hand away. And you can lean back. But you got to breathe into that forearm. Because you're going to feel it, yeah? So you'll lean back. The amount of how much you lean back is just going to be for what feels manageable. And then take that again and then just lean back in the way that you feel something for you, but it's not too intense right off the bat. You want to breathe into that. Good. Then I'd like you to take your hands, make fists, and just open and close, open and close, open and close. And when you open, really look to widen, like really stretch out that sole of the palm. Spread the fingers. And then just take your right hand as a fist. I always like to give the image of thinking of your very favorite ice cream flavor and all the good stuff's at the bottom. And I want you to really dig down. Yeah, and you should feel that stretch across the front. Yeah. And then counter it. And the other side. How's that feel? And counter. Interlace your fingers over your head. Push your hips down. While the rest of your roots up. And then go ahead and press your palms straight out in front of you, chin to your chest. Rounding your back, like you're pressing your middle back against a wall. Stretch up. Lean to the right. Lift your gaze and look up. Or lean to the left, rather, and look up to the right. And you'll do it on either side, so you can't fail. Good. Take your fingertips to the floor behind you. And I want you to push the floor away from you while you're pressing your chest up. And let your head fall back. And it's this feeling of like the chest pulling right up through the shoulders. So I want you to envision like if you were tethered to the ceiling and let your heart just press up into the ceiling. Now, if you can, lift one knee off the floor. And the feet press down, and you'll feel that stretch through the tops of the feet. And then the other side. Come onto your hands and knees. And let your hands be shoulder width apart. And line your shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Just line them up. And let your knees be hip width apart. And the feet hip width apart. And your eyes closed. And all I want you to do is simply start moving your hips around in some circles or take some cat-cow pose. Trust that your body knows exactly where you need stretching out. That's all we're doing. We're going inward. I have you close your eyes for, if that's comfortable, just so you can start getting a feel of you from the inside out. Just start moving things around and know that wherever you feel cramped, wherever you feel stuck, breathe into that space. Instead of bypassing it, breathe into it. Because that part is holding up everything else. For the energy to flow, for blood to flow, to all the other parts. So you got to go to the place that you're all blocked up. And you just breathe in and ensure that you breathe out. And then start moving according to Ujjayi breath. So you're breathing in and your body will take you into something. And you're breathing out as you move into something else. You have that wisdom, the body wisdom. And the more you breathe, the more you can invite the mind to join in to the wisdom of the body. That whole mind-body connection thing the world is seeking, it's through Ujjayi breath. Because without the breath, we don't feel. And without being in our bodies, and when we lose connection to feeling, we lose connection to our senses. So food doesn't even taste like food. Or maybe like it really is, but we can't access it, the full flavor. So yoga invites you to just bring and receive the flavor of your life. Good. Just moving around. So what I'm saying is without breathing, connecting us to the body, we can go through our life and it feels like the same old, or it feels like it's just blah. Not for everybody and not all the time, but a lot of times. When we get too hurried, we get too in a rush, we lose connection to all the things that we're doing and the people. And so this is an incredible way to do your part to ensure you don't lose connection by connecting to yourself here in class. And then that connection is already plugged in, and so it ignites with others outside you. And that's all we're looking for. The push-ups, they'll show up over time the more you show up. Flexibility, that just happens the more you come to class and really give everything over to your exhalations, which are holding the musculature. But we want it to be more than that. Downward facing dog. Nice work. In your down dog, walk your feet back, everybody. Just like an inch or so. Yeah. Look at your hands, and you want your hands to spread out, finger bones to press down. And then your head can drop right between your upper arms. Soften your chin. By an exhale, it'll soften your chin. Land your gaze right between your feet. So your head stays down and your hips press up and back. And while your heels start to lengthen toward the floor, they don't need to touch, but the elongation from the Achilles right up through the hamstring and the buttocks starts to lengthening that upward while pressing the heels down. Let your hips swing right. Let your hips swing to the left. Feet together. Take your right leg to the sky. Higher. Bend your upper knee and flex your upper foot. Peel the knee and right hip open gently toward the sun wall. Heads down, shoulders square. Breath in, and breathing out will release a little bit of that tension in the front of the pelvis. Roll the hip down, land your foot to the floor. Left side, on a breath in, the leg goes up. On a breath out, the upper knee bends. On a breath in, the knee goes higher with the line of the hip, and you peel it open. And your ankle's in line with your knee, and your head gets to drop and be free. And the more you breathe, the more you'll free yourself from the chains of your thinking mind. Good. Walk, feet to your hands. With your feet together, halfway up with the chest pulling forward, the butt pressing back. Keep your knees super bent and take a forward bend. Chin down. Root your feet into the ground. Inhale all the way up, you go. Palms can come together over your head. Keep rooting down into the feet. Feel the floor with your feet and squeeze your legs and feel like your legs are being plugged back into their ankle sockets while your thighs lift off the knees. The outer edges of your ankles, press them down into the floor, toward the floor. The inner ankles, spin them back. Tailbone lengthening. Now take your thumbs right into your armpits, kind of like that chicken dance gesture. Just in, like lift up. Good. And feel yourself lift through the side body. While the arms go up, get in line with where your shoulders are and take them from your ears. Crown of your head, beaming up like the center of your forehead's lighting up that spot on the ceiling. Your eyes are there too. Nice. And stretch it back. On the out breath, the upper body will bend a little more. Not with a struggle, not like work, but just let the breath go and the body will go. Good. Hands to your heart. Get all your air out. Great. Draw the breath into the lungs. 3 ohms. Breath. Breath in. First 2 fingers at the base of the throat. Your eyes closed if that's comfortable. Breathe it in. And lengthen the exhale out. The more you release, the more you can take in. Inhale. Pause. Try to take air in. Not happening. Now exhale everything. So that's all you're looking for. You're looking to take that air in for the space you've got, and you want to really hand it over on the out breath. Noticing if you breathe in and you don't fully release it, take in more, can't do it. You shut down, you get panicky, all of that. Same in life. Take a breath in. Feel it go right up underneath your collarbones, spread light there. And let that go free. To the bottom of your lungs. Feel your belly draw in as you do so. So from the base of the throat, we breathe. On the in-breath, it's coming in through the nose. Reach up. But make it all happen at the base of the throat. Exhale, bow forward. Breathe it in, flat back. Hands flat, high plank. Pause it. Press your heels straight back if your legs are straight. Firm up those thighs. Good. Look forward. Move that chest through the arms by rocking the feet forward. Elbows bend straight back and hug in. Pause. Upward dog. Your shoulders are going to open and spread apart. Your shoulder blades squeeze together into your middle back. That'll open your chest. It'll be done for you. Tops of the feet are on the ground. Exhale, down dog. Breath comes in. Breath empties fully. The inhale will find you that way. You empty fully. The inhale fills you. You do the exhale. That's your part. And the inhale does you. And you hand it over. Then you pull your belly in tight. All the air emptied out. Lift up those heels. Some of you can jump. Some will walk. Some will make their way in their way, and it'll be great. Halfway lift, inhale. Out breath for forward fold. Chin tucks in. Hug the belly in while you squeeze that air out. Yeah. Inhale, rise up. Press your feet into the floor. Exhale, fold in half. Breath in, halfway lift. Move to a high plank again. Set your gaze out in front of you. Soften your shoulders from your ears. Yeah. Low push up, big exhale for that. Press your palms into the ground. Breath in, up dog. Breath out, downward facing. Head heavy. And gently shake it, no. And shake it, yes. And just so you feel like you're freeing up your neck. Good. Press the floor down and away from you with your palms. And on the out breath, draw the thighs and hips back. Nice. Belly squeezes in. Push the air out. Look forward. And weightless, jump. Feet to your hands. In breath, halfway up. Out breath, forward fold. Reach up. Breathing in. Tailbone lengthening. Empty the breath, forward fold. Breath in, halfway lift. Pulling the shoulders from the ears. Press the crown of the head forward like I'm pushing it. You're pushing it into my hand. And bend the knees, high plank. Exhale fully, low plank. Up facing dog. Draw the breath in. Out breath, down facing. Let your hips go to the right. Let your hips go to the left. Back to center. And you land your gaze. Let your eyes drop right between the feet. And just go to the breath. The word Vinyasa means flow, movement, fluid movement, which is without obstruction, which is without block. Sometimes I'd feel like lots of stuff was in my way. It turned out I was in my own way. I had all kinds of energy, but I just couldn't get anything done. I was holding my breath and created this frantic feeling when there doesn't need to be one. So just exhale out and know that you're getting a part of you out of the way for you to move forward. Jump, feet to your hands. Breathe it in, flat back. Breathe out, folding forward. Knees are going to bend, butt's going to drop lower than what you think. Lower than what you feel is what you think is safe. Press the weight into your heels. Lengthen your tailbone toward the floor. So you untuck that low back, and then you pull the chest up. You pull the arms up, and the palms will face one another. And you're going to stretch out every finger, like if I came along and just poofed your hands. And you're going to go to the breath. And you're going to squat a little bit lower. Yeah. Thighs have you've got huge muscle here, so you know you can do this. You've been holding yourself up your whole life. Breathe into it. Breathe into it. Because you're also strengthening parts that are like not usually strengthened. This is how you do it. Yeah. Exhale, fold forward. Nice. Inhale, length, halfway up. Step to a high plank. Low push up. And an up dog. And an empty out for down dog. Take your right foot, bring it forward. Press your back foot flat, completely flat to the floor, and you want your toes face 9 or 10 o'clock toward this wall. Pull the right hip back so that your right hip lines up with your right knee, and that your arms come up. Torso lifts, eyes land. Feel that low back uncurling. We're going to pull you right up. So your shoulders sit over your hips. There you go. Breathe. At the base of the throat, you're breathing. Otherwise, it feels like not much is really happening, and just when am I out of the pose? But if you breathe, you can ignite the pose, ignite the body with more oxygen. You're building stamina by hanging out here. Good. You're not just strengthening the commitment to a warrior one, you're strengthening that to yourself, which will often really get you to settle in with a commitment in your life. Press your palms together. Interlace every one of your fingers and press the pointer fingers together. As you press into the feet, you'll stretch up. That spine will like pull right out of your hips almost. Let your head fall back if that's okay. And back to high plank. And low push up, big exhale. And up facing. And a down facing dog. Take a big breath in. And a heavy sigh. Awesome. Left foot, warrior one. Back foot down. Left hip drawing in line with your left knee. Press the left knee open. Good. Press the outer edge of your back foot into the floor. And squeeze up that back leg. Your eyes land. Finding your feet. Going into their strong ujjayi breath. And there's just a graceful strength in knowing like you've got this. And if you can breathe, you can figure it out. Mouth closed, in and out through the nose. Press down, reach up, take it back, and meet again. All together. High plank, inhale. Low plank, exhale. Up facing dog. Walk your hands back more toward here. There you go. Breathe. There you go. So you're looking for that to all open. Out breath, down dog. Shake your head out. Shake your head out. Like if it was like contents of like one of those like grandmother's big purses. Like dump your handbag of your head. Your thinking mind appreciates it. It never knows how to shut off for most of us. Good. Big breath in. Long exhale. Walk, feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway up. Out breath, fold forward. Bend your knees, sit your butt low. Sit it back though. Like don't just drop it straight down, sit back. That'll bring you into your heels. 10 toes can lift, stretch everything else up. Lean to the left a little bit to open up the right side body. Lean to the right. Come to center. Sit lower. Bend your elbows like you have a basketball right between your hands over your head. Sit lower and fold forward. Nice work. Breathe in, flat back. To high plank. To low plank. Up facing, breath in. Out breath, down facing. Right foot, warrior one. Reach high on an inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Press the right knee open, lengthen through the arms. Reversing. Breathe in. Exhale out. High plank. Low plank. Up dog. Out breath. Left foot moving along. Warrior one. Reach up. And exhale, open wide. Warrior two. Your eyes over the left middle finger. Your palms facing the floor. Every finger lengthening. Shoulders dropping. Reversing. Cartwheel right through. You're moving things through. High plank, breath in. Low plank, breath out. Up dog. High. Down dog. Right foot, warrior one. Press your feet down. Just draw the breath in. Reach high. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse your warrior in breath. Out breath, extended side angle. Reverse your warrior again. And plant the palm, high plank. Low plank. Up dog. Out breath. Left foot. Reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse. Extended side. And while you're in extended side, press through the outer edge of the back foot. Lengthen through the upper fingertips. Reverse again. Plant both feet into the floor while you reverse. Breathe into the left ribs. Plant that left palm. Move it through. High plank. All together. Low plank. Up dog. Out breath. Down facing. Big inhale. Out breath. Belly tight. Look forward. Float. Feet to your hands. In breath. Halfway lift. Lengthen that chest wall forward. Shoulders move them out of the way. Out breath. Fold forward. Bend your knees. Drop low. Reach high. Exhale. Fold. Flat back. Inhale. High plank. Low plank. Belly in. Up dog. Feet press. Out breath. Down dog. Head low. Hips high. And feet together. Right leg up. This is Christy's favorite move. Bend the upper knee. Keep the upper foot going, 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 and flip your dog right over if you like. Feet are underneath your knees. That's going to give you the power of the legs. Press your feet down. The thighs just boomerang up. Yep. That felt like a boomerang, right? Drop your head all the way. Let your head go and let your arms stretch to the front of the room. High, arm to the sky. Breathe in. Arm high. Back to high plank. We're going to pause for side plank. Some of you with legs straight, well, everyone with the legs straight, press your heels straight back to the wall behind you first in high plank. So come back to high plank. Everybody. High push-up. Yeah. High push-up. Press your heels away from you. Pull the chest wall forward. And let your heels spin left. Right arm to the sky. The right arm lines with the bottom arm. And if ever you said, this is nuts, just bring your left knee down. Right foot flat. Release. High plank. Low plank. Up dog. Draw the breath in. That's what up dog's for. Out breath. Down dog. Really good. Right leg up. All the way to the ceiling with the right leg. Kick it higher. Kick it higher. And knee to your nose. Chin right to your chest. Shoulders line over the wrist. Hug in the belly. Kick that leg up. And knee to nose again. Knee to nose. Shoulders right over the wrist. So just move the body forward. Yeah. Kick up. Pull it in. Knee to nose. Pause. Kick up. Bend the upper knee and flip your dog over again. You can flip over or you can come into a tabletop and have both hands on the floor. What you want to do is you want to walk your feet a little more back toward that bottom hand. That way that wrist isn't ahead of the shoulder. So press straight down. Yep. Press your hips up. Hard up. Here we go. Let your head go. Everybody, high plank. To low plank. To up dog, draw the breath. Downward dog. Right foot, bring it right forward, right at your right thumb. And walk your right foot out a little bit so you're more toward the side edge of your mat. Yeah. And keep your back heel lifted, still pressing it down. Come on up to stand for crescent lunge. So what you want to do is get the hands on the hips. And you're going to turn that back foot, Trace. Yeah. Turn it more. Yeah. So your hips square up toward me. Yep. And you're going to plug in both feet. Your front knee is over that ankle. Yeah. And just press right into the center of that heel. Feel that leg. There. Arms are going to reach up. Interlock your thumbs together. Bend your elbows a little bit. And I want you to soften those shoulders. And I want you to feel like your shoulders and upper arm bones are pressing into the back wall. Hands to your great heart. Pause. Breath in. And twist it out. So the left elbow presses against the outer edge of the right thigh. You're pressing the back thigh up. That'll lift your hips up a little more. So you're grounded, but you keep it light. Bottom fingertips inside or outside the front foot on those blocks would be great. Right arm high. Take the upper arm, stretch it over your ear toward the front of the room. Pinky finger side down. Bring yourself right on up to warrior two. Reversing. And extended side. Bring the forearm to the front thigh. Pull the elbow back. And open it up. Stretch it back. Let your head fall back. Press your shoulders toward that wall behind you while the heart presses forward. Breathing out. And warrior two again. Land your gaze. Pressing that knee open. Feel the inner front thigh spinning up toward the ceiling. It's how you're going to free up that hip. Cartwheel down. Still moving by the breath moving you. High plank breath in. Low plank breathe out. Up dog. Outward with the breath. Down dog. Feet come together. With the feet together, press your heels toward the ground. Left leg, shoot it up there. Up to the sky. Bend the upper knee. And feel the leg, the upper foot just keep going. Let the upper foot do the work. Boom. Work's taken right out of that pose. Make sure your feet face 12 o'clock. And you're going to walk your feet so they're right under your knees. Yeah. And you're going to, really good. And feel like your thighs are squeezing in toward me. Yeah. Pull the heart away from your hips. Breathe. Press your feet into the floor. Push straight down. You'll go higher. Nice. Come on back. High plank. Pause. In high plank, if the left knee's coming down, that's what you do. Or you press your heels back and you spin your heels to the right. And your left arm opens. And you're lengthening your tailbone. Soften it towards your back heel. Yeah. Lengthen every finger. Spread the fingers apart. Lengthen them. Breathe. Roll it open. Look up and let your head fall. And release. High plank. Low push-up. Up dog. Downward dog. Left leg is going up, but check in with your right heel. Staple it toward the floor. And pull it tight, knee to your nose. Kick up. Pull it tight, knee to nose. Lengthen on a breath in. On the exhale, really pull it in sharp, knee to nose. Kick up one more time. And bend the knee, and if you want to, flip your dog. If you want to. And if you start thinking, I'm 6 years old again, you'll start feeling like bring more play into it rather than intensity. Yeah, just have fun. Come on back. Down dog. Take down dog. Take your left foot and sweep it forward. Land it right along the side edge of your mat. So there's some space between both feet. And come on up. Turn that back foot. Facing. Yeah. A little bit more. Yeah. If you press down through your back heel, everybody, it'll keep you solid in that back leg. And just line your shoulders up over your hips. Really good. Yeah. Arms going to reach up. Lock those thumbs again. Press the arms to the wall behind you. Spine's moving in. Spine's moving back home. Your spine is your lifeline. Hands to your heart and twist it out. So there's so much, all these external benefits on the outside of us, our physical body, our life. But internally, our bodies are working for us round the clock. And the more we do yoga, I think we start to have a finer appreciation for that. We start getting really wrung out, so we become more sensitive to what we put in to our body. We get the junk out of our system and we don't crave it anymore. So wring out whatever's in your system that's making your body feel like a dumping ground, because toxins wear the body down, weigh it down, fatigue the body, make everything feel dense. You free all that up and you're like, boom. And go ahead, roll open a little more. Warrior two. Warrior two. Eyes land. Arms are lengthening. Your shoulders come over the hips. Nice. And then your shoulders soften. Reverse your warrior. Good work. And just go ahead, bring it through. High plank to downward dog. It feels like we skipped a step, we did. High push up, inhale. Exhale to downward dog. Good. Walk or jump, feet to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Out breath, folding in. Wrap your arms around your legs and fold, hug in. The more you squeeze the air out, the more space you'll have, even all compacted. Yeah, good. And forward bend, just start to quiet the nervous system. So let something drop. Slowly come on up to stand. Reach up. Lengthen through the fingertips, but rooting into the feet. Root down into the legs. Hands to the heart. Great. Take your hands at your low back. Pull the knuckles down. Arm bones lengthening down. Shoulders are dropping down. Pull the chest through the arms. Heads falling. And release. Really good. Eagle. Reach up. Right leg comes right there on the top of the left leg, and it squeezes. The hands can be on the hips. Your shoulders are lined over your hips. Then you can try taking the right arm under the left. The elbows lift, align with the shoulders. Then move the shoulders to the back of the room. Go to your breath, and you'll figure it out. Sweep open. Left side. Land your gaze. Lengthen your tailbone, front of the pelvis, just a bowl of water, tip it upward. Sink down as you breathe out. Your eyes never lose their spot, and then let the eyes land on the ceiling while you reach up. And set it up again. Right arm, right leg. Keep your belly button squared up. Good. When you get the alignment and the breath, for the most part, you start really working with that, the poses start to do themselves. Sink down, sweep open. And the left arm and the left leg wrap. You squeeze your thighs on top of one another and you pull your chest straight up. The spine will lengthen. Press your shoulders back. Nice. Sink down. Nice work. Sweep up. And take your arms straight out in front of you. Palms face each other. If you're lengthening the arms out too much, the shoulders pull out, so you can pull the shoulder heads back. Take the right leg. Flex that right foot. Push through the right foot. Stretch out more. Look right at one spot. Tuck your chin in slightly so that the neck is long. And press through the right leg. Push through it while you lengthen. Come up. Other side. Flex through that left foot. Drive that left leg away from you. Heart's going to lift up. Nice. Lengthening the fingertips like they're pulling right out of your knuckles. Soften your gaze. You're just working on a balancing pose. Pull your belly in. Come up. Nice work. Go ahead, take your hands to your hips. Bend your right knee. Your right knee lines with the right hip. Grab the shin or grab the big toe with the peace fingers and the thumb locks around the peace fingers. You could extend through the leg, but you want the spine to stay in a line. And if that's not happening, just bend the knee and work on straightening the spine again. Open the leg out to the side. Turn your gaze slowly to look over your left shoulder. The left arm can lengthen straight out. So you look over your left fingertips. Come back to center. You can take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right arm straight back. Fingertips stretching. Arm bone squeezing so muscle will hug the bone. Move your shoulders to the back wall and let your spine move forward, right against your heart. Come back. Nice work. Sweep up. This time you'll take airplane. So you drive the right leg back. When the right hip's rolled open, you'll have to work harder to balance. So just keep the right hip squared. Keep your chest lifted. Everyone take your thumbs to under your armpits. Lift things up. Take your arms straight back. Then you just look out at the floor, out in front of you a bit. Hug the shoulder blades toward the middle body. Hands to the heart. Come up. Left knee, bend it. Hug in your belly. Just cushion the belly right up against the spine. And there's stability. Core is helping out. Spine says, oh, I needed that. Breathing is going to hold you up. Not a frantic breathing. Calm, deep, steady. There's a rhythm to it. And you move according to that rhythm. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left foot flex. Take the left arm behind you. Below shoulder level. Hug that left shoulder into the middle back. Turn your eyes to the side wall. Pause. And then your eyes can move along in a straight line to the back of the room. Come on back. Take those arms. Get ready to drive that foot through the ball and heel and drive that leg back. Chest wall comes high like up dog. Press your palms behind you, but feel like your palms facing the ground with the palms are pushing into a shelf. Notice how that pulled your chest higher. Breathe. Come up. On the exhale, foot to the floor. Tree pose. Bring that right foot in. Calf. Thigh. Keeping the hips lined with each other. So if that right hip's higher, you'll have to work harder. You don't want to work hard. You want to work smarter. Drop your right, drop it down. Feel that right knee press open while the belly button squares up. Take your arms straight up. Take your right hand with the palm facing open to your right knee. Press down through that left foot, from that left leg. Feel everything get lifted from there. And you can lean to the right while the fingers slide off the knee. Look left, look up, and look left. Take this side. Stretching through the side body. And back. Bring your foot to the floor. Shake the leg. And then take tree on the other side. Set your eyes. The eyes being on one spot will settle your nervous system, quiet it down for the remainder of the day. So there's purpose in just putting your eyes on one spot. It's your eyes are like, great, I have a job to do. We all know the benefits of multitasking and just everything in life just snap, 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 snap with the fingers. Yoga says you got to balance that out with more landing and settling in, or you'll never settle down in every arena of life. And it's not because there's something wrong with us or bad with us. It's our nervous system's been so hardwired for such a long time. Fight or flight. The sympathetic. And the practice of deep breathing in yoga creates that fluid movements, melts the tension, and moves us back to the parasympathetic nervous system. We're plugging into that. We're strengthening that with every practice. That's why I said the rest of it will just come the more you come. But if your nervous system feels at ease, you're less likely to be susceptible of anything on the outside of you when it's not. And you'll start to recognize the times that you're all maxed out and you're all stressed out and how you can be snappy. Nervous system, fight or flight. Because we're not breathing. We're breathing, but we're not breathing very big. Take your arms straight open. Right up. And now bring them so they line up with the person next to you. Yep. You can kind of press in to each other if you're close by, or just lengthen out. So trees take years and years to get grounded because they take years and years to deeply plant their roots. And that's all you're doing. Reach up. Hands to the heart. Foot to the floor. All we're doing is we're planting new roots of the parasympathetic nervous system. Bend your knees, press down, reach high. Empty the breath, forward fold. In breath, flat back to a high plank. To a low push-up. To an up dog. To a downward dog. Right foot warrior one. Back foot down, reach up. Open wide on the out breath, warrior two. Reverse on the breath in. And triangle. Feel the right leg straighten. Lengthen out through the right side. You want the upper body to line up over the front leg as opposed to over the floor. So draw the right hip in toward the middle of your mat so it lines up more with your back heel. And you want to keep the lungs lifted. That's why the blocks are great, or you could take the right hand to your upper thigh. If your lungs are lifted, then you won't panic in the pose. Upper hand pulls you up to stand. All 10 toes face this wall. Go back to the outer edges of your feet. Go back to the outer shins and the outer legs. Feel like they're pushing against a wall, and the power of that. Arms reach. Hands behind your back. Fingers can face down. Really give a lot of support to the low back and the leg, hips, buttocks. Pressing your hands into the hips so they move forward. Heart pressing up, head down. And forward fold. Slide your hands down your legs. And perhaps the crown of your head gets heavier and heavier and heavier toward the floor, which will lighten up all that space in your neck and shoulders. Press your feet into the floor. Bring yourself up to stand as you breathe in. Turn your right foot forward. Step your back foot in. Hands to the hips. And just lengthen through the left side of the body. Keep rooting through the left foot. Pressing the hips and thighs straight back like you do in down dog. And feel your thighs kind of pull together like they're being magnetized together, your inner thighs. Length, length, length. And then you can twist. The blocks right there, both blocks stacked on top of one another. Oh my goodness, that helps a lot. You're looking for the length in the spine, then the twist. When the upper middle back is really clenched up, we won't open up that big. So you're exactly where your work is. Therein lies your work. Breathe into the spot you're stuck because that's where you can't open. And then your lungs are like, I can't really get the air that I could be getting because things are all locked up. Bring yourself on up. Take your hands, if you can, in a reverse prayer behind your back. Still facing forward. Fingers can be up or they can point down. Palms push together. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze. Press your hips forward. Press your heart up. Slowly fold so you're right over the front leg. You can bend your knee if you need to. Let your head get heavy. Stay with your breath. You're opening up the back side of your body, which will create more mobility in the front. You're in a forward fold, quieting the nervous system again. And still taking care of yourself through the whole thing with Ujjayi breath. Turn your hands to the floor, moving through high push-up into downward dog. Left foot steps forward, back foot flat. In breath to take you upward. Out breath for warrior two. Reverse. Feel yourself moving into triangle. You can widen your feet more. Stretch way out there. Left fingertips. They're on your leg. Your lungs stay high. You can look up. You could always look to the side wall. But you want to spin that torso open. And if the eyes look up, then the upper body will peel open more for you. Your job is to just exhale. That's a big job. Press your feet into the floor. Good. Pull yourself right up to stand. All 10 toes face forward. Press through the outer edges of the feet. Hands to your low back. Hug your elbows in. Let your hands mush your hips forward. And here your exhale folds you. Take your fingertips to the floor. Spin the fingers to the back of the room. Pull the chest away as you press your fingertips away from you. Pull the chest forward. And fold. The elbows can hug in, just like in a low push-up. while you're rooting down through each heel, the back of the legs from the Achilles on up, lengthen skyward. Breathe it out. And hands to your hips, get all the air out. Slowly come up to stand as you take breath in. Left foot, step it forward. Back foot, turn it in. Lengthen up. Stretch out. Press your hips and thighs back, and yet feel the thighs pulling together. And then you can lengthen or take the twist. Good. Open up a little wider. Come right on up. Hands in a reverse namaste. Can walk your hands higher up to your mid-back. Find a nice spot, press there. Hips forward, head back. And fold on the out breath. Pour yourself like the upper body is just like a waterfall right over that front leg. Your front leg is a pillar. Your head gets low. Your eyes have a place to land. Return your hands to the ground. High plank. Low plank. Up dog. Down dog. High plank. Lower slow. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way to the ground you go. Arms to your sides, cheek to one side. Close your eyes. Big breath in. Out with a breath. Let your entire exhale completely release you into the floor. Go ahead, interlace your fingers at your low back. Press your palms together if you can. Hugging those shoulders away from the neck, away from the ears. Arms are going to lift off your butt. Press straight back. They still line with your shoulders. Bring your forehead to the floor. Empty the air out. And your next breath in will lift the chest off the ground for you. The feet can come off the floor or they can press down. It's your call. The toes, the pinky toes, will spin toward the floor. So it's like your inner thighs roll up to the ceiling. And release. Release your arms. Big breath in. Out. All together. Do that again. Inhale. Press your palms flat, still alongside your body, but your fingertips face the wall behind you. Your arms are long, so your arms are straight. And you bring your hands right against your hips, and you get the air out, and your inhale, the fuller breath in, will lift you higher. So the deeper you breathe in, the higher you'll go. You'll plant the palms down into the ground while you pull the chest ahead. Shoulders, move them back. Breathe. Tuck your chin in slightly toward the chest, just to keep the neck long. The neck is part of the spine. Press down to go higher. And release to the floor. Turn your cheek to the other side so you balance that out. Go ahead and bring yourself into an upward facing dog. Go back to the feet in up dog. You're not in a hurry here. The tops of the feet are on the ground. Press them down into the floor. See if the thighs lift off the ground. Walk your hands back, everybody, towards your hips. And press your shoulders straight back toward me while you pull the chest through your arms. Press down into the hands and the tops of the feet. And exhale out, downward dog. Good. You can bring your knees to the floor and make your way out onto your back. And take your arms over your head and let the feet be hip width apart. Let your knees drop to the right. Chin goes left. Let your knees drop left. Chin goes right. Come to center. And then set it up for bridge. Make sure the feet are underneath your knees. And you'll feel the difference. And go ahead, lift your hips up an inch or so. Curl your lower back toward the backs of your knees. And the arms can press straight down, or you can interlace your fingers underneath your back while you lift one shoulder off the floor and kind of hug it into the middle back, and then the other one, kind of shimmy in and shimmy the shoulders down. Press down and you go up. But you're pressing into the feet, that's going to power you into the legs. But press into the shoulders because that's going to press your heart open more. Breathing in. Breathing out, you're still there. And come down. Big breath in. Full on sigh out. Bridge again. Or if you have confidence in your back bend, you want to take full wheel, you can do that. If you want to learn preparation for wheel, you can do that by bringing the hands alongside the shoulders. Your fingers can face outward if the shoulders are still pretty tight. You would press into the hands and come onto the crown of the head only. And hug the elbows toward each other like you're squeezing a beach ball. So squeeze, yeah. And then you can press up. Breathe. Gently shake your head, no. Slow it, yeah. There you go. Chin to your chest. Elbows to your ears. Slowly lower chin to your chest. Curl down. Good. Okay. Take a breath in. Out. Set it up for bridge or wheel again. Try this. Catch my ankles. Wrap your elbows in. Come onto the crown of the head. Yeah. Now press your arms straight and you'll come right up.
Okay, real straight.
You're up. You're going. Push down. You're going. Heads off. Chin to your chest. Yeah. So whenever you come down, ever, chin to the chest. Keep that neck safe. Okay. Take a breath in. Out. Take your legs straight up to the sky. Take your hands behind your head. Flex your feet. Flex your feet. And you're going to lift your head and shoulders off the ground. You're going to pulse up. Here we go. Yeah, I was coming to do it. 10, 9, 8. Breathe out as you come up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Go back into your belly where the work is happening or supposed to be happening. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8. Nice job. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lift higher, higher, higher. Good. Take your arms alongside your hips. Palms are going to face the front door like that stop, like if you were putting it out for a stop. Yeah. Upper body off the ground, legs up, and pulse up. 10. And your hands are alongside your hips and you're just kind of pushing. 8, 7, 6, 5. Breathe out to come up. You got it, Christy. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your left hand outside your right ankle, outside your right foot, and climb rope that way, side to side. 10. Upper body off the floor. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. See if the upper shoulders come higher off the ground. 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your hands underneath your bum, palms flat, feet flexed, and the legs straight up. You're going to lower down a third of the way and pause. Flex your feet. Pinky toes pull back even. Yes, third of the way. Pause. 2 inches above the floor. Take the legs straight up. Third of the way. Pause. Third. Pause. 2 inches above ground. All the way up. And lower down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 inches above the floor with your feet. Hug your knees to your chest. Big squeeze in. Rock side to side. Open your knees wide. Flex your feet. And grab the soles of the feet, the outer edges of the feet, or just grab the backs of the legs. But the knees are open, hip width apart, and the feet line up with your knees. So the soles of the feet shine the ceiling. Yeah. Your lower back is going to uncurl toward the front edge of your mat. And your chin's going to lengthen toward the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. As you exhale, you'll slowly pull the legs down for dead bug. You're not yanking them. And if the practice up to this point brought you a little more connected to feeling your own body, you'll know exactly when to push, when to surrender, where to find that sweet spot that's calling out and saying, I need some love here. And if we rush that, we force it, we'll miss the boat. Rock side to side. Take your legs straight up to the sky. Bring your hands to your low back. Lift your hips off the floor, and you're going to come up into a shoulder stand. So with your hands at your low back, you come onto the elbows and forearms. The legs are straight up. And if you walk your hands higher up your back, your legs go higher. And if you can, bend your right knee and bring your right toes to the floor behind you, or just bring your right knee into your forehead. And then you can do the same on the left. So the knees can press into your forehead, or the toes can come to the floor behind you. And then you can take your arms to the floor out in front of you, arms straight. And then you can take your arms over your head. And if you can, the knees stay on the forehead, or the knees can fold in alongside your ears. And you press your knees into your ears. And then slowly uncurl yourself one vertebrae at a time on the floor. And go ahead and take your legs straight out in front of you. Take your hands underneath your bum. Come up onto the elbows and forearms. And you're looking to press your forearms into the floor, palms into the floor, chest up, shoulders are moving back toward the ground. And the head can fall back. If you slide your hands further down your legs, the crown of the head will find the floor. If that's not comfortable, you can just tuck your chin to your chest. But set your eyes and go to the breath. Keep boomeranging the heart up. We're pressing everything down. Everything else from there will go up. And all the way down on the floor you go. Your arms can rest at your sides. We do all this work to open the body up, so that just means you keep the palms open toward the ceiling and let your fingers curl in toward the middle of your palms. The knees can stay bent. You could bring the feet together. Knees can drop out to the sides for butterfly. You can stay there if you like, or the legs can straighten out on the ground. Feel your arms like they're pulling out of your shoulders. Shoulders are pulling out of your neck. Legs are lengthening away from the hips a little more. Take your palms together. Rub them vigorously like you're going to start a fire. Take the heels of your hands and rest them over your eyes. Mentally give permission for your eyes to fall back in their sockets. We can show up to yoga all strung out, stressed out, out of sorts, off center, off track, having been way out of bounds. The practice of yoga always says, I've heard it all, I've seen it all, just get in here and we'll get you back to right order, to your essential self. not your personality, not your status in the school parking lot, but the essential you. Strengthening intuition, inner compass, while strengthening your belly, your legs. So you can show up any way you like. And yoga says, I'm going to keep bringing you back to the same thing, the breath, the alignment. And somehow your pieces of you are going to come back together. Let your arms rest at your sides. Let your breath fall out. And see, that's the only thing holding you up from being truly at ease. Hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze in. Rock to the right side of you. Roll to the right side. Lift up your head and slide the arms under your head for a pillow. The ability to tune out the tumult, though undoubtedly useful if you have to live in it, exacts a toll. The kind of obliviousness it requires dulls our senses, and it's no wonder. It takes a loud and strident noise to get people's attention and rouse them from dormancy. Such is the logic of wake-up calls. Wake-up calls are simply calls that have become desperate to get our attention. They generally start as a polite request, a gentle tap on the shoulder, a whisper in the ear. Then they eventually escalate to rude shoves, barbaric yops only after we've repeatedly ignored them. Our souls will speak as softly as possible, but as loudly as they have to. Sometimes calls are muses who dab perfume gently on the wrists and their neck and anywhere else they hope to be kissed, and sometimes their heartbeats spraying their smell around enough to scare the werewolves. At that point, they become crises that often alter our lives so dramatically we have no choice but to change, and we do our mightiest just to cope. Sociologist Gordon Allport calls this the power of the fait accompli, the done deal, the career disaster that has the effect finally of blowing a hole in your hull below the waterline, the accident or illness that changes everything, the partner who leaves you for someone else, the case of burnout that lands you in the hospital, and the addictions that will land you in a courtroom or the newspaper. Some kinds of change can only be set in motion by a strong-arm tactic. Otherwise, forces of just habit, fear, and laziness, all from the ego, are just too stubborn. Perhaps wake-up calls should even be considered alternative rites of passage for people who no longer have them. They are the means by which new powers and patterns can break into consciousness and new stages of life can be attained. In any case, there's no sense blaming the messenger. If responsibility is the ability to respond, when we don't respond to our calls, we put them in the position of having to come after us. In the same way in which my partner, Robin, has to usually come after me when I neglect my share of the housework. It appears to my ego she's the problem, the tormentor and the pursuer, but really, I am my own problem. I suspect those who experience wake-up calls usually discover, in hindsight of course, they actually received plenty of warning before the shit hits the propeller. They just chose to disregard it. So many divorces, diseases, dismissals from jobs probably don't come as a complete surprise to those who suffer from them. Fights, infidelities, morose silence, falls over relationship well before the word divorce splits the air. And children will show us in countless ways they just simply need our attention well before they end up getting mixed up with the law. We begin taking little chances at a job when we don't care anymore. We'll take extra long lunches, we leave work early, we show up late, filching from the stockroom, sick days from which we come back with a tan. Indications we're probably not long for the job. Some wake-up calls are not a function of neglecting calls. A natural disaster, a massive job layoff, parents suddenly needing to come and live with you, a suicide of a friend, a sudden empty nest, or the death of a child. Whatever the case, we're going to get drop-kicked into consciousness, even if only temporarily. We'll either utilize the experience or we don't. We understand the point of it is to reorient us and recognize the call in the calamity, or we attempt to drive ourselves deeper into the status quo, the old equilibrium, and we'll miss the point again entirely. Wake-up calls, however, change the bottom line. What once seemed important before, it doesn't now, because you have a new set of priorities, and you're awake again. When you get sick, work takes a back seat. When your kid gets hurt or in an accident, your previous concerns pale. And when a person you love dies, whatever you failed to tell them that you wished you had often becomes a top priority in your other living relationships. When you're dying, when you turn that sharp corner and you realize not only that there is an end, but that this is also the end. All your obsessions with security, status, money, stuff, and time spent doing anything other than what you really wanted to do or must do seems ludicrous. The realizations come to us in shattering moments. Our sustaining habits are pulled violently away from us, and the demand for a new way comes up hard against the armies of the old. We figure that no amount of our ego's business as usual stops the inevitable. Not that we can't rebuild. But first there's a shattering and the need to acknowledge the shock. Whether a wake-up call becomes a boon or a bane depends on what we're willing to learn from it and whether we're willing to be moved by the experience. The outcome depends not only on how strong we are, but on how we're strong. Not just any kind of strength is going to suffice in the face of any wake-up calls. Physical strength can be virtually useless, and strong ego's will may only make things worse. The ability to withstand pain can work against us. We may instead decide we need to call on the strength to surrender. Big breath in. Press your palms flat. Come on up. Your eyes stay closed. You'll sit cross-legged and the shoulders will line up over the hips. You'll bring your hands to your heart. Press in. Press the thumbs to the forehead center. Invite in the light. And just bowing in gratitude for how yoga is moving you through your life in ways that our own ego can't quite get us to do. Namaste. Good job.